Mackey Motors in Lake City is the place to find new and certified used vehicles, along with a knowledgeable and helpful sales staff. Find new roads at Mackey Motors in Lake City.
Mackey Motors post-game show continues here on 93.7 KKRL. Got Grazy Johnson with the Coon Rapids Beard Crusaders joining us here. And Grazy, a tough loss, but I think you and the girls got to be proud the way you're able to rally back from down 2-0 here on the road to send this to 5.
Yes, it was very exciting how we could all come together. I mean, we didn't really get down. We were just really excited because we knew we were capable, and we fought really hard, and I think that's what I'm most proud of.
You saw some time mainly in the back row last year. This year you're kind of up into the front row helping set, but also kind of playing a little bit in the back row as well. A lot of girls maybe in different positions this year and some newer players on the floor. How did you feel like you girls started to mesh and kind of get comfortable with each other as the set went on?
I think we start out nervous because that's just how we always are in our first game, but we all really get along really well. So in practice, when we practice, we are always super excited and hyped. So when we get on the court, it's just kind of like the same thing when we get into routine.
Last year, as a back row player, had to read what their hitters were doing. Now, as a hitter, you got to read what their setter. You're reading what their blockers are doing and what their back row is doing. What were you seeing tonight? How were you trying to set up your hitters to be able to get some good looks?
I was just doing whatever felt good. I mean, I knew who our strong hitters were tonight and who could hit the ball the hardest. And I kind of saw where line was open or wherever was open. And so I just set whoever I felt could get the ball where it needed to be.
What did it look like they were trying to take away? Were they blocking cross more or blocking line more tonight, do you think?
Probably blocking cross more, I would say. Because when we hit line, it was usually a pretty good kill.
It looked like you got into a good rhythm there a few times with Bryn, even with the Leedy girls and stuff, and Breeley as well. So talk about trying to develop that comfort level with them four hitters.
We're trying to get into quicks and all that, so just getting comfortable in the game, just setting and getting them all into position to hit wherever they are, because they all kind of mix around wherever they're hitting. So I like to make them feel comfortable wherever they're at and get the ball to where it needs to be.
Well, I tell you what, great job here tonight, and I appreciate you coming up, joining us. Best of luck coming up the rest of the way.
Thank you, Jeff.
You bet. Grazy Johnson joining us here. We're going to get a quick change over here. It's Coach Marissa Dembinski going to join us. Coach sliding into the coverage and press area here tonight. And Coach, thanks for coming up here tonight. A good match for you and your club. Fall down 2-0. You battle back to take it to 5. It slips away in that 5th one, but got to be overall pleased with how things went tonight.
Yeah, we definitely have a lot to work on. But after we got into our groove, I think that we kind of handled ourselves well. In the locker room, the girls said that when we kind of got in our groove, that was Crusader volleyball. So.
Serve receive looked like an area tonight of maybe a little concern, or do you think that was just first game jitters and first match jitters tonight?
Yeah, our serve receive is something that we've really been working on. We lost a lot of back row players, and then we obviously had to pull some of our back row players to fill other positions. So we're trying to fill those positions, and we've actually been really working on our serve receive. So it's still a work in progress. We're working on being able to hit hard from our serve receive. I think we get a little timid, and so that's something we've really been working on, and we're going to continue until we can figure it out. 2
new setters for you tonight. What did you see from them?
I think they did awesome. I think they really they stepped up to the role. I know that a lot of people were curious. I mean, we had Cassidy Baker that past 4 years, so I've had a lot of questions about the setter position, and I think they did awesome. I think they filled those shoes pretty well.
What do you think changed for you in momentum-wise and everything in those 3rd and 4th sets that gave you the wins in those 2?
Well, our first set we got out of rotation really bad. We had 2 hitters sub in for each other, so that was our first set. I'm gonna chalk that up to rotational issues. But I think they just started. They felt more comfortable. They were really getting into a groove, and they were really I don't know. They turned it around. I think they started seeing things started working. And so it was more like, oh yeah, we can do this. I think they have a lot of weight on their shoulders because we did lose a lot of seniors, and so they want to continue Crusader volleyball being so successful. And I think those first 2 sets they put way too much pressure on themselves. I think we take ourselves way too seriously sometimes. If you watch us, you can see that when we are having fun and goofing off, they play way better. So I think we just got to really not take ourselves so seriously.
How'd you like your team serve tonight?
Oh, good. They did, I think, better than we have in practice. So they really wanted me to call spots, but at the end, I just wanted them to get the serve in. So we are working on more place serving, but we tend to serve long, so we're working on attacking the tape, getting it close to the net without it going into the net. So I think it went well, better than practice. So
well, Coach, I tell you, I appreciate you coming up here. Tough loss here tonight, but you saw the improvement as the match went on. So best of luck coming up the rest of the way.
thank you.
You bet. Marissa Dembinski again, the head coach for the Coon Rapids Bayard Crusaders.